Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me. I just wanted to do this special Typhoon update just in case we don't have any power on Tuesday, man. Shout out to Q in the Philippines, Unfiltered Black Abroad. Thanks for that super chat. He said donating for water, non-perishable food, flashlight, candles, whatever that can help you during this time, monk. Stay safe. Man, thank you. The peso is 58.85 right now. Shout out to the NTZ crew. Thank you to all of my fourth quarter members. What's up, Sam? Yeah, it's been raining here all day. I mean, all day raining. It's coming straight for us, man. You know, they're saying that I just clicked off the TV. It's now making landfall in Lady, Signal 4. And, you know, the man said, hey, the good news is it's not Typhoon Yolanda or Typhoon Odette, but hell, a typhoon is a typhoon. People are going to suffer. And my thing is, man, I still got PTSD from Odette. These natural disasters, man, they're just coming too quick over here. We just had a 6.9 earthquake. What? A week ago? 2 weeks ago? I've never seen it like that. What's up, Jeffrey Todd? I know where your friend lives. You know, they've got category 4 winds right now. You know, over in Samar, that's Typhoon Alley. They get hit every year. People are taking it more serious around here now. I went to the store this morning about 10 o'clock, but I wasn't even thinking about the typhoon. It didn't even cross my mind. Good thing I did, and I bought a few things. But a friend of mine who lives here, he called me. He said he had went, I guess it was around 5 o'clock, and hell, the shelves was empty. He said he got the last 2 liters of water. Everything's gone, man. Because when Odette hit in 2021, you gotta understand, man, there was already a category 5 super typhoon, hell, less than 4 years ago. Now here we go again. I don't know how people do it over here, man. I don't know how much longer I can take it. I can't deal with this, man. Every time you turn around, it's a natural disaster. What's up, Icy? Yeah, I'm just doing a typhoon update, man. It's going to hit us tonight, early Tuesday morning. And, you know, it's the aftermath that gets you when there's no power. Sometimes there's no water. I mean, it's just terrifying, man. I don't know if any of you guys ever been through a typhoon before. You know what I'm talking about. Man, that wind is whipping, man. Sounds like a damn freight train. Sounds like a damn freight train, man. The windows, man, is rattling. I was on the 46th floor, but it don't matter where you are. When them things come through, and they talking about category 3 or 4 winds coming through here when it hits us. Because when it hits Cebu, it's going to hit us. I was just watching it. It's coming right over our area. Hey, thank you, man, because, you know, people are going to suffer, man. Somebody's going to die in this. They always do. People are going to get, you know, they're going to have to evacuate. They're going to start all over. They just recovered. Now they got to start over again. I tell y'all, man, the Filipinos are tough as nails, man. They deal with this stuff, man, year after year after year after year. This is the first time it's coming so quickly, though. It's coming back to back, man. I've been over here for years and never even, I mean, I felt the earthquake down in, when I was in Lapu-Lapu in like 2011. But that was about the extent of it. No typhoons or nothing. It's crazy now. You know, people talk about they don't believe in that global warming and stuff. And it could be something to that. Imagine it was a couple of earthquakes today. One in Dumageddon, and then one in like northern Mindanao, where James Jennings lives. But yeah, it's due to hit us late tonight or early Tuesday morning. He said we deal with hurricanes all the time in North Carolina. It's nothing new to us. Well, evidently they ain't hit you because you still here. You know, it doesn't make it any less terrifying because it's nothing new. I was terrified, and I'm terrified now. And it ain't even hit us yet because I already know what to expect. You know, that's all I'm saying, man. You know, you have to understand something, guys. When you decide to move over here to the Philippines, man, you better consider the weather. Forget all that other stuff, man. Like, so what? You could come over here and get a wife or girlfriend. What big deal about that? And then what? It's a lot of people that I know that are into clothing, but they said the clothing might be spared the brunt of it. He said, trust in God and pray for the better. Well, hell, isn't it God the one causing the typhoons and hurricanes and stuff and the natural disasters? Why don't he just stop it? Knowing people are going to suffer. That's the way I look at that. But, you know, we ain't even going to get into all that. We're just talking about reality, man. Seems like every time you turn around here lately over here, it's a natural disaster. Before they had Odette, you know, you would get remnants of a hurricane over here. You know, the heavy rain and stuff like that. But being in the eye of the hurricane, man, was unheard of, man. That's why when it hit in Cebu, I was in Cebu. I'm in the taxi. I'm coming from my Airbnb to the Ayala Mall. The taxi driver was like, oh, man, they always say that all the time. We don't even worry about it. Shit, that thing hit, man. And the next day, it was like somebody had dropped an atomic bomb on Metro Cebu. People walking around like zombies, the whole 9 yards, see? He says, stay safe, keep your family close, and remember you're in the ring of fire. Yeah, it's particularly important to understand that's how it's supposed to be. It's the conditions that have always existed. Yeah, I've been fortunate. I have been fortunate up until this year. You're right. This is what I'm saying. I don't think we consider this, Lister, when everybody's talking about moving over here to the Philippines. You know, you're talking about the Pacific Ring of Fire. You're going to get hit. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And yeah, man, I was riding, man, I was on the road. You know, it was always the other guy that was getting hit. You know, and I look at it on TV, but all that changed, man, when Odette hit. He said, all ferries are canceled leaving Siquijor. I was supposed to leave this morning. I'm stranded at Cocoa Grove for another couple of days. Yeah, they canceled schools. Well, schools was already out here, but they canceled colleges. The elementary schools and high schools are already out because of the fiesta here. But the fiesta has been rescheduled. They changed it from Tuesday until Thursday. Well, hell, if this thing comes through the way it is, they have to reschedule it again. But yeah, they canceled all the ferries going from here to Cebu, so we're trapped right here. We can't go anywhere even if we wanted to. We don't have an airport here. Yeah, he says, still nice to see you back home safe in this typhoon. The Philippines can't take a break. Now, you can't get a break over here. I mean, even when it's not hitting the area where you live, you do not get the Philippines does not get a break. So people get on here and they start talking down on the Philippines and stuff, man. Get real. These people are always recovering from something. You talk about the infrastructure and all that stuff, man. They shouldn't even have an infrastructure with all the natural disasters they deal with, among other things. He said, I've been through several Category 3, 4 hurricanes as a kid, Texas and Connecticut, no joke. That's no joke, man. What's up, James? He said, I really feel sorry for the people in Bogo, yeah, because they didn't recover yet from the 6.9 earthquake. Thank you. I just said this. You don't even got time to recover, man. All those people that died in that earthquake, now it's coming right through there. Here comes the typhoon through there. Their houses has already been knocked down by the earthquake. They haven't even had time to rebuild the houses. Now here comes the typhoon. And believe it or not, on the news they said another storm is going to be coming on the heels of that. But this is the time we're in right now. From November, then these are the wet typhoons. These are the ones that are really do all the damage. You got the dry typhoons, that come during the dry season and the summer and stuff. And then you got the wet ones. Odette and Yolanda, the two biggest on record to ever hit the Philippines. One came in November, one came in December. It's from November to February. So just know that when you schedule your trip over here. It's a lot of stuff we don't know about the Philippines because y'all won't click on the informational videos. Y'all just want to talk about dating and women and cost of living. Just the simple stuff. When the most important stuff you don't even want to talk about. He said, I'm in Manila. Hope everything goes well and that tomorrow I can come home to no brownouts, man. You're right. That's what I fear, the aftermath over here. Because y'all guys, man, y'all take it for granted in the West. I've been over here for a long, long time, man. On and off almost 17 years. Next month it'll be 7 years in a row I've been here. I still aren't used to those brownouts, man. You can't get used to that, man. I can't. I'm too westernized. It hasn't been beat out of me yet. It's hard, man, to go without electricity. No Wi-Fi signal. Certainly at night. Certainly at night. What's up? Okay. This is Shane right here. He said, hello, Cal. What's up, brother? I'm back here in Sikihor. It's not too bad, just light rain. I actually got an emergency alert about Sikihor that said it was raining real heavy. Yeah, see, I saw this too. He said, Jamaica, now you guys, prayers up. Man, that hurricane that went through there, see, this is what you fear. Because you don't know what the weather's going to do. They'll say Category 3 or 4 because it's picking up steam now. They're talking 130 miles an hour wind right now. He said, man, back-to-back natural disasters is crazy. It was just an earthquake and now this. Yeah, but like the guy said, Lister, this is the Philippines, but people, we don't even take that into account when we talk about moving here. It's all coming for the ladies. That's all we think about. Well, this house actually withstood that super typhoon. This is going to be our evacuation shelter right here. But we've got one right over a nice one right over in Margarita Village. I live in Margarita Village Extension. But hell, that thing will fill up so quick. Yeah. That thing will fill up so quick. He said, if you need any help when I get back, let me know and I will come over and help. We should be okay, man. I'm just really worried about, the kids, man. If you've ever sat through that, even if you don't sustain any damage, man, just the wind and the windows and all that, man. It scare you to death, man. Imagine I'm in there. You can go back on my channel around December 2021, and I'm making a video, man. You can hear it sounds like a freight train, man. And then the air condition blew out of the wall, man. Water everywhere. He said, "You're right and on point about global warming because look how many storms are coming." But that's something we love to argue about. And anytime you bring up something like that, I guess the scientists, I mean, the regular people know more than the scientists. He said, "Guys, save your prayer." He said, "LOL, God is not stopping nothing." Man, it sounds like this, and you wish there was somebody that could stick their hand out there and stop stuff because people are going to suffer. People are going to die. They're going to lose everything, man. Again, I've watched it from a distance. Now it's happening to me. He said, "Just a lot of rain and wind in Argyle so far." Yeah, it ain't hit yet. It's coming your way, Thomas. It's going to hit. They said Metro Cebu is going to be in the eye. So I know if that's in the eye, we're going to be in the eye. Because we're right behind Cebu. He says, and this is real right here. He says, this is like the main reason why I probably would bring my girl back to the States. I would rather marry her rather than let something happen to her. Or have to deal with this stuff yourself. A lot of us, we aren't used to this. I'm not. I saw a tornado when I was 10 years old, from a distance. You see that cloud going across the sky real fast. The storm cloud. "Hey, what's up, Frank?" He said, "Stay safe, Cal. I had to cancel my trip up north to Manila area due to the typhoon." Yeah, it's going to hit y'all too, man. You're right in the path. So y'all stay safe too, man. Yeah, it did. A couple of earthquakes hit. Yeah, it hasn't hit yet, man. That's why I'm coming on here tonight. It's going to hit us later on and early in the morning, Tuesday morning. Okay, this is the reason I'm on here now. I may not have power in the morning. I wish I had a crystal ball and I could look through it. Because I was going to do a live on Tuesday, but I'm saying, well, I might as well do it now because I may not have power. Yeah, he said people have to focus on reality. A lot of fantasize and romanticize PH too much. It's true, there is a good side to everywhere. We're on the same planet. Every place you go has its good and bad. There is no utopia. If it was, we're going to fuck it up anyway, I see. So you take the good with the bad. But we don't even talk enough about the weather over here. We look at it on the news and, it crosses our mind, but we don't consider it. All we're worried about is coming over here fanning a woman. I was just talking about this a lot, how the men, we're with this fantasy, and the women over here they're living in reality. What's up, Juice? We're the ones in the fantasy. He said, "What's up, good people? Hope everyone over there comes through this typhoon." I do too, man. He said, "I got 60 liters of diesel for my generator just in case. Province power sketchy." Yeah, I'm going to have to go on and break down and get a generator because my friend, he's got one. And that's why I was asking him today. I was like, well, how long does that generator run when it's full? He said about 10 to 12 hours. And he's got a big house. I wouldn't need a too big. all I would really want is maybe enough power to light the house. That's probably all we really need. And the fans. Because I don't know when you guys, the last time y'all sat through a brownout, certainly at night, man, it's just, you can't even describe it, man. It's just so frustrating. And it's not like they give you, they don't tell you when it cuts on. And when the lights come back on, you hear everybody, even your neighbors and stuff. Yay! Everybody's happy, man. I mean, but you don't even know. They don't tell you. Sometimes they'll give you a warning. It's going to be off from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But sometimes in a storm like this, there is no warning. It just goes out. Yeah, see, that's a good thing. We got tested. This house was built October the 1st. It was finished October 1st, 2021. That super typhoon Odette came through December, I want to say 20 or something like that, 2021. And the only damage we sustained was one of the fence posts from across, they got a piggery or something over there. It came up out of the ground, man, and hit our roof. But other than that, everything is still intact, which, you know, we've already been through an earthquake. I've got my money's worth already, man, just in them two damn. This house has been through 2 natural catastrophes in the last 4 years. But imagine the people who live in the province, you know, who don't have big concrete structures like this. This is the people that I worry about. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. But we never think about this. Certainly this place, the Ring of Fire. And that's why a lot of people, you know, even though they say, oh man, the Philippines is so beautiful, it's on the Ring of Fire. And, you know, they're not out to, a lot of them are married. They're not over here trying to date or marry anybody. So they're thinking rationally. A lot of the men who come over here, we're not thinking rationally. We're suffering from chronic loneliness and all kinds of stuff, man. We don't even think about the Pacific Ring of Fire. Be honest, man. If you're over here right now, you know good and damn well it didn't deter you from coming over here. You looking at that other Ring of Fire. That's what it's going to turn out to be. He said, yeah, rain over here in Manila, it probably flood in some spots again. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. People are going to suffer. They always do. They always do. And then, like the guy said, the people in Bago, James Mack, they just, 74 people died. They just not getting their life back together, and here comes the typhoon. Man, y'all better know what y'all doing. Y'all better put some respect on the Philippines and the weather over here. Talk to the woman about the weather where she lives when you chatting with her. Talking about coming over here. Anybody can stay over here for 2 weeks. You can do anything for 2 weeks. On vacation, we're talking about when you relocating over here. He said, I was in Samar in 2017 when the typhoon hit there. It was bad. Samar, Tacloban, Bilaran, that's that east of Visayas. That's Typhoon Alley. If you are an expat and you move in one of those places, you're a good one, man. You're a good one. No way I would live there. No way. Hey, thanks, Swade. There's no way I would live there. Hey, what's up from Vietnam? Hey, quit running in and out, booby. Hey, what's up, K Dallas? You and BGC. Y'all getting spared this time. But you know, they're predicting the big one in Manila. They're predicting the big earthquake in Manila, 9.0. And they said millions are going to die and be affected. Because you imagine all those people in Manila in that little congested area, one of the most congested places in the world, and a 9.0 hit, and all them, it'll test those 9.0. Has there ever been an earthquake that big? That's going to create a tsunami, and depending on how close to the surface it is. Oh, okay. He said, just touch down in Bangkok. He said, bunker down and ride it out. Stay safe. Yeah, you out of harm's way now. Yeah, he said, generates the difference between complete darkness and comfortable living. Critical piece of equipment. Yeah, I put it off, man. I got to go on and get us one. He said, we'll catch the tail end of that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about today with my friend. He said a lot of people was telling him to, back down on a lot of the preparations he was making for this typhoon. And I said, man, it's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. That's exactly what I told him. He said, hey, Cal, is it easy to find Philippines after a typhoon? See, that's all y'all worried about. Well, they're not going to be in any better shape than they are before the typhoon. Okay? I don't know what y'all don't understand about women escaping poverty. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just be saying stuff that's on the surface, man, that everybody can see, but won't nobody say. It's like the elephant in the room. I'm saying the woman that you with is with you because she's trying to escape poverty. Okay? It's not because you're 6 foot with a six pack and you earn six figures. He said he's watching from Tacloban. Y'all gonna be spared this time, man, but y'all always get hit, man. Yeah, I posted that. I saw that today. These people know what they talking about, Q. He said the peso's supposed to hit 60 to 61 by the end of 2025. Yeah, he said, man, Sam is safe for a big purchase. It's gonna hit. They predicted the 59, and it hit. They're saying 60 to 61, so within the next 2 months, it's gonna hit. If it hits 60, you better buy some pesos if you ever plan on coming to the Philippines. You may never see that again. He said that other ring of fire. Yeah, that's all we worried about over here, that other ring of fire. He said, stay strong. This is a real deal when it comes to traveling overseas. Yeah, he said, bleeding cats should not take precedence over Mother Nature. Let this be a teaching moment for the misguided. I'll be trying to pass on this information. People ain't listening, man. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Hey, what's up, man? From DC. They don't want to hear it, man. And then if you do talk about women, they're going to say, that's all y'all talk about is women. That's what a guy put in the comments today. And I said, dude, why you think men come over here? They come over here for women. Marilyn showed me a video today on Facebook. It was just this guy was hideous looking. This is the only place where a lot of men can get a woman. Okay, but they don't want to be. I'm happy for them. But then you got guys over here, they stick out their chest. Oh, look at me. Look what I got. Fool, you're going to get a woman over here. That's the least you got to worry about. Come on, man. I mean, this guy was hideous. He was old, but the lady said she didn't care what people said because he took care of all her needs. What did he say? What did she say? He bought her everything she wanted? Yeah, she already got a house and lot and everything. And then he kissed her, and he had a piece of rice on his lip. He took the piece of rice and ate it. I'm like, but that's nothing, man. Cut on YouTube, you'll see it.
Everyone's watching her.
You know, everybody's bashing the lady, but she don't care. You know, the people who are bashing her, they're jealous. Their stomachs are growling. She's eating good. And that's what it's, about. He said, God is angry. Well, what did the Philippines do? He said, funny thing, I've lived in Vietnam before, and now I'm living in South Korea. They didn't say, they just predicted it, because remember the Philippines are sitting on the Ring of Fire. They're saying that it's a fault that around Manila, I was just watching this the other day, that hasn't moved in 500 years. It's only a matter of time before that thing, shifts. And when it shifts, good luck. Okay, that's what they're saying. These people know what they're talking about, man. Yeah, but not the type of poverty over here. He said, shit, Big Shirley and Keisha trying to escape poverty here too. Brothers deserve their own snap in the matrix. Well, it's not like it is over here. There's no food stamps over here, Richard. There's no AFDC. There's no SNAP benefits. There's no Section 8, disability, unemployment. Man, we got it made, but that's why I don't mind paying taxes in America. I'd rather we use our tax dollars for that than to fight these damn wars that we got to borrow the money. Okay, I'd rather give it to the people who need it. Okay, yeah, so some people are going to, hey, Will, thank you for that super sticker. Some people are going to slip through the cracks. I don't care. I'd rather my tax dollars go there to helping people than helping these billionaires and fighting all these wars and stuff. But none of that's over here. Man, y'all don't understand, man. Y'all really think that somebody living in the projects in America would be middle class here. We've got it so easy in America, man. You just don't know. We've lowered the bar so low that anybody can reach it. It's very, very low. But we're so stupid. We don't really know who's causing the problem. I saw something the other day, because when they were talking about SNAP benefits, you see all these people on Facebook. They think it's a black problem. The lady said this. She said, if SNAP only benefited black people, it wouldn't exist. And it's true. But we don't realize, we don't even know what the problem is for real. They got us so tricked over there. But yeah, we got it easy. Man, so much over there that you don't have to do nothing over there. The temporary places don't even find you a job. All you got to do is get off your lazy butt and go apply for the damn thing. That's why I get so mad at my daughters when they always asking me for money. I'm like, I live in the Philippines. You live in a land of opportunity. People are practically knocking on your door to go to work. Don't be calling me for no money. My daughter's mad at me because I wouldn't give her $500 for her for a brake job. And I'm like, I told you don't buy the car anyway. You can't afford it. But they don't take my counsel. You think I'm going to pay for your mistakes? Keep on paying for them? I told you don't get that car. The payment, the insurance, the maintenance, you can't afford it. But they won't listen. He said, I had to leave Palawan early because of this typhoon. It's coming, man. But that's the problem with over there. They got it so easy. This new generation, man, they don't want to do nothing. I'm like, well, hell, you should be giving me money. I work my fingers to the bone. I wish I had somebody I could call and say, hey, man, I need $500 to fix my damn brakes. on a 2016 Toyota um, Camry. Is it that expensive? I don't know. They don't prepare. They're just resilient, man, which isn't really a good thing because that means they're going through it over and over and over and over. They don't prepare. They just go through it. But then we come over here thinking we doing something. Man, these women will chew you up and spit you out. There's nothing you can do to them, man. They got that exterior, that, innocent exterior. They're tough, man. They gotta be tough over here. We're no ways tougher than them. We don't even come close. Just if you had to just deal with their activities of daily living, it'll wear your ass out. He said Western females rarely listen. They want someone to fix their problem. That's it right there. My daughter's 22. I'm like, I told you don't buy the car. You know, you can't afford it. But I would rather, I'm not going to penalize the whole system, Irvin Alexander, for a few people who take advantage of the system. Me and John used to argue about disability all the time. I'm saying, John, overwhelming majority of people on a disability, they need it. I mean, they qualify for it. They're not cheating the system. You don't throw the whole system in the trash because 1% of the people is fraud. And that's what we do in America. We focus on the 1%. We don't focus on the 99%. And remember, where do you want your tax dollars to be spent? In Iran? Iraq? Afghanistan somewhere? Okay, because that's what's happening. We're borrowing that money. He said a lot of sacrifice and suffering happened in order to build American society. Those benefits in America came with a price, though. My ancestors would agree, I'm sure. Yeah, they came with a price, and they still coming with a price. Our tax dollars, which I don't care. I'm happy for that. People are getting on your case if you decided that you wanted to collect unemployment during the COVID. I'm like, are y'all stupid? Do you know how many years you paid into that unemployment? So what? You're not supposed to get it back? You're never going to recoup what you done put into the system. That's never going to happen. But they were getting on your back. And see, that's the type of stuff we'll do. But the rich people don't care. Trump and all those guys, they filed bankruptcy 6, 7 times. But you're afraid to file bankruptcy because you're embarrassed of what your friends are going to say. He said, man, I was going to move to the Philippines in 3 years, but I think I would check out Thailand instead. Too many earthquakes and typhoons there. Well, you can have it all, really. But you're right. You have to consider the weather over here again. We just don't do it. There's something stronger than any earthquake and any typhoon that's drawing us over here. He said, and of that 1%, a lot of them are clerical errors. The amount of actual freeload scamming is very low. That's right. But you don't thrash the whole system because of that. I mean, so what do you want us to spend the tax dollars on? Because they're going to keep taking taxes. Death and taxes over there. But what you wanted to spend it on? They gave 40 billion of your tax dollars to Argentina. We don't push back against that. But let somebody get $10 extra worth of food stamps. Y'all lose your damn man. The lady hit it on the nose. She said if SNAP benefits only benefited black people, they wouldn't exist. So stop with all that foolishness, man. But yeah, I'm so glad, man. I've been paying at least Imagine this, as just a regular worker, I was paying 40% in taxes. Then they hit you with the sales tax and all kinds of stuff, man. You're getting taxed all to hell, but you have to understand, at least you can get something for your tax money. But now they're misusing and mismanaging the tax money. The infrastructure is falling apart over there. He said, I'm surprised the Philippines have any infrastructure with all these natural disasters. Thank you, man. It speaks to their resilience, man, and how strong they are, man. I've been over here too long, man, to ever really disrespect them. Man. I got a lot of respect for people over here because they deal with stuff, man, that, man, we could deal with this on a daily basis, man. You know how soft Americans are, man. We're soft, for real. We're spoiled. We're spoiled, man. Yeah, no, it's just from a dry throat. Yeah, they're not going to listen. He said, Cal, keep putting the word out about the weather in the Philippines, but very few men will listen. Great videos. I've got over 3,000 videos. You know, people are going to misinterpret what you say anyway. I'm tired of explaining my videos to people. Okay, if there wasn't a problem with men giving away their money over here, I wouldn't talk about it. It's a problem. But that's not all I talk about. But you have to talk about it because people really don't know. The first impression they get of the Philippines, it's not the Ring of Fire. It's women. And that's wrong. That's the wrong place to start. What other country, really? Honestly, be honest. There's very few countries where the first thing you think about when you think of the country is women. Because this is a gold mine for every Tom, Dick, and Harry who can't get a woman in their home country. If you see some of the couples over here, I'd be, happy for them. But at the same time, these are the people you're trying to help. But they don't want any help. They really think that the woman really loves them. Yeah, absolutely. He said for resilience and recovery, examples also look at the Japanese. Natural disasters are very much a part of their culture there. What's the population in Japan? Does anybody know right off the top of their head? Because it's 110 million over here, maybe more. Yeah. This is true right here. He said, in the West, we freak out when 20 people die, when hundreds and thousands die in the same natural disaster in other countries. I was over here in, let me see. I'm going to have to look this up, but I want to say 2011, and it was a landslide and flooding in Iligan and Cagayan de Oro. I mean, over like 3,000 or 4,000 people died. Bodies was in the streets. If so many people had died that the morgues and the funeral homes were stacking bodies outside. They ran out of caskets, right? And I said, if something like this happened in America, it was like a 9/11 type of emergency. Man, Filipinos just went on about their life as usual. And I was like, wow. You know, I saw this a long time ago. It's like, you look it up, man. It's like 3,500 people or something like that. And they just went about their life as normal. Hey, Hitman, thanks for that super sticker. They went about their life, and it was then that I really started paying attention over here. Because we would have built a monument and everything over there. They just built the caskets and buried their people and went on with their life, man. Y'all don't know who y'all dealing with over here, man. You don't know what's inside of her head. You don't even try to know. You don't even know what the woman's been through. You don't even ask her that. And then when it blows up on you, you're going to try to blame the woman, man. You know, you ought to bring a psychiatrist with you, a psychologist with you when you come over here. I'll be sitting next to you when you're on the damn dating site. You don't know what people go through over here, man. Hey, thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. He said, you and Maryland go to lunch on me after the Typhoon. Man, it's coming for you guys too, Frank. According to what I'm looking at, they're talking about, you know, the northern part of Negros Island. And it's got, you know, it's showing Cebu, Toledo, the path is Cebu, Toledo, of course, St. Carlos, then on up to Bacolod. But yeah, thank you, man, for that super sticker. Yeah, you don't know what these women have been through, man. We don't care to know, and we marrying them. Man, I saw the day where, okay, you know, if you on your YouTube, you can see you can see posts in certain channels, communities. They'll say, here's some posts from communities you may be interested in. Well, it's a guy in there asking Filipino P today. He claimed that he's asking Filipino P how can he gain the trust back of his ex-wife. He wants her back so bad. Now they've been divorced for 5 years, and he wants her back. And he's talking about he came over here for 2 weeks and met her and married her. Well, that's where you messed up. That's where you messed up right there. But it's a long email, and I'm thinking, these are the guys who are coming over here, man, a lot of them. Because some guy in my comments is like, man, sad that men are this way. He said, what happened to men? And I was like, I don't know, but a lot of them end up over here. A lot of them end up over here. I mean, they really don't have a clue, man. They really don't have a clue. Hey, MJS737, thank you. He said, stay safe, big man, your family. Jamaica just got wiped out, big time destruction. Imagine the Philippines has been through that over and over and over. Imagine just about going through that every year somewhere over here. If you haven't watched any videos on Typhoon Yolanda, you need to go watch them. And the devastation. It looked like somebody dropped an atomic bomb. That's how it looked in Cebu. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. But there's more to the Philippines than that. Far more than that. I mean, because, y'all just don't want the truth. The truth is, it's probably one of the easiest places in the world to get a girlfriend, simply because of the poverty, you know, and it has nothing to do with them. It's no fault of their own. They're trying to survive. They're trying to live. And they're saying, okay, we've got something that's in demand. Men from all over the world, they love us. They don't even know why we love them. But we do. We're crazy about them. So they use that to their advantage. Okay, Q's birth. Wow, your baby will be due in the next couple of weeks. He said, I'm getting my coffee. He said, I'm on my way to rehab. Oh, okay, yeah, you was in that accident, a workplace accident. Yeah, good luck, man, because be careful, because you know they got somebody following you, watching you if you're going to them Baltimore Ravens games and, you know, playing pickup basketball and all that, man. If I was you, I'd stay strapped in a damn wheelchair. I'd have a permanent walker fixed to my arm because they watching you. They don't give them uh, workman's comp claims easy. But yeah, man, I went to the store today because I go to the store. I normally go on Sunday and buy a lot of stuff for the whole week. But we needed some stuff today. And I went, but I didn't even have the Typhoon in my mind because if I went at 10 in the morning. I could have got all kinds of water and everything we needed. There was no bread, though. But I never even thought of it until I got back. And about 2 o'clock, a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, man, are you stocking up on stuff? I just came back, non-perishables and all that stuff." And I was like, "The Typhoon?" He said, "What's some of the things? Flashlights, non-perishable items, candles, water, maybe a first aid kit." See, we don't think like that because it always happens to the other guys. I bet you out of the thousand people I know, probably 10 of them don't even have some type of readiness kit for a natural disaster or something like that. They probably don't even have a first aid kit in their house. Certainly don't have gasoline. You see, Frank said he's got 60 liters. I think he said 60 liters, yeah. Because one thing is for sure, it's the aftermath that kicks a lot of people's behinds too. When I was stuck in Cebu, excuse me, man, the lines to get gas, this is no lie, they were a mile long. And 2 or 3 people deep. Yeah, batteries, can opener, yeah. He said bread and milk, but those are perishable. Yeah, yeah. See, these are Army guys. They know these military guys. Spam and canned meat. I got some spam in there. I bought 2 cans today. Because I love spam and eggs in the morning, but I don't eat it a lot. I get a taste for it. The kids love it. He said water, crackers, tuna, yeah. You know, the Filipinos, they drink a lot of powdered milk. I hated powdered milk, man. I mean, sometimes, like, when we run out of milk, because I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. My mother, you get those government, government cheese and stuff, and they'd have that damn powdered milk in there. I don't know. I don't care what you did. I don't care what type of, how you 1 part milk, 2 parts water, whatever you did, it never tasted like milk. I don't know what that was. It was horrible. But sometimes I tried it, man. You can't. You use that kind of stuff for cooking, like pancake mix or something like that. But they use it over here. Booby loves powdered milk, and I hope she never stops because 50% of Filipino adults are low on calcium. No, 95%. Sorry, it's 50% that have those worms over here from eating that uncooked meat on the street. But yeah, 95% of Filipino adults are low in calcium because they stopped drinking milk. When they little, they drink milk, but as they grow up, they stop drinking milk. I told Marilyn, look, I want to keep Booby drinking that milk as long as she wants to drink it. Yeah, that powdered milk is crazy, man. You know how the young guys say, it's crazy work. Your mother bringing that damn big box of powdered milk and be like, well, this is it. He said the Lottie brand canned chicken like Spam made in South Korea is great. Cut it thin and fry it. I don't know what the name of this is we've got, but it's delicious. He said a whistle, yeah. Yeah, knee pads for your woman, because you're going to be stressed. She's going to have to relieve you to get her a good set of knee pads. He said rice, water, or filters, shelf-stable groceries, and canned goods. Yeah. A friend of mine gave us some solar-powered, uh, those chargers for your phone, charging banks, but they've got these powerful flashlights on them, man. So we got all that. Everything's being charged up now because it's been raining, man. It's raining like crazy out here now. You can't hear it. He said the best tasting milk I found is Devondale full cream milk made in Australia. You mean here in the Philippines? I've got some fresh milk in there now from Nestle. And I use that for my cereal. I sometimes, when I'm on my no sugar kick, I'll get that stevia brand 3-in-1 and I'll use milk instead of water. Oh, it's so delicious. He said, what's your favorite Christmas album? That's probably the Jacksons, man. I grew up around the Jacksons. you know. But of course, everybody's song except was the night, Holy Silent Night by the Temptations. That thing sells so many millions every Christmas. But now that probably downloads now. Yeah, Money on Hand. Hey, from France. He says, stay safe, my friend. I got another book for you. Oh, man. I need a book right now. See, that's one thing that I miss. Of all the things I miss in America is the library. We take it for granted. And Louisville got some of the best libraries. I went to the library every day when I was home for those 7 weeks. I'm talking about every day. For whatever reason. They got a fax machine, copier. Of course, free internet for 2 hours you get. You get 2 hours a day on your card. Just any book you want. He said, can you get raw milk there, brother? Man, they got so much milk. The milk here is different. The milk is on the shelf. Some of it is in the chill box, but most of it's on the shelf, man. And when I first saw that over here, it tripped me out, man. It's like, what is this? And it lasts longer because Maryland said it's not Maryland. Somebody told me that it's, we homogenize milk in America, but this is not homogenized. So it lasts a little longer. He said, buy a Kindle if you don't mind digital books. I do mind digital books. I like the physical book in my hand. I like to turn the page. He said, Uncle Cal, good night to you. Continue dropping content and spitting content. I want you to interview me so we can both shed light on the Philippines' natural beauty. It truly rejuvenates you. Man, I would be happy to, man. I mean, I don't get any interviews. People that come here, they do not want to be interviewed. And I respect that. But that's where I'm kind of jealous of some other vloggers. But I want y'all to know this right now, because a lot of people try to pit vloggers against each other. It's not a competition. Certainly when you're all winning, there's no competition. Okay, no matter how many views they get and how much money they get from YouTube, it doesn't pay my bills. But when we're all winning, there's no competition. But I do I am kind of envious because, see, I don't want to just uh, interview the same people over and over. I interview him, then he interview me, like they do, but they get interviews, man. But when people stay in my guest house, they don't want to be interviewed. It's like, well, what do you? I mean, don't you want to help somebody? What are you doing over here? They just don't. I can't remember the last time. I think the last interview I did was Captain Jim, and before that, it was a few months. It was Brother K, and then before, I can't even tell you the last person before Brother K. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see, I'm gonna tell you something. He said you picked a terrible place to live to not be into digital books. You're like the Kindle's target audience. But this national bookstore over here has changed. It used to be, now it's mostly, um, school supplies and stuff, stationery and stuff. And the books that they have, are these romance novels and different things like that. But they used to have it. I'm talking about big shelves of books like autobiographies. That's all I read, either autobiographies or self help. And they just don't have the books. I found one good book, 1966, over here, and it was talking about the Beatles. It was about the Beatles and how the year 1966 was so influential in, you know, in that group. That was the last time they did any live performances. It was the first time Harrison went to India. First time they started using LSD. First time when Lennon, what's his name? No, the one that got killed. He met Yoko Ono. Okay, fully booked. Yeah, see, I always go to National Book. I keep forgetting about this fully booked. What's up, I Love the Chime? I used to, when I was over here in 2000, I want to say 12, I was listening to audio books, because I was down in Zamboanga, and it was right after my son was born, and I used to listen to those audio books. He said, I love audiobooks because I'm in my car a lot traveling to and from work. Yeah, the first time, okay, I'm going to tell you how good The Long Walk to Freedom is, the Nelson Mandela story. I listened to it in its entirety on audio, and then I went out and checked the book out at the library and read it. I mean, it's a big book. It's like 900 something pages, but it's just one of those books you can't put it down. It's so interesting, man. This guy, you know, no matter what you said about him, and he sold the people out in the end and all that, his story was phenomenal, man. He was a lawyer, and to save money to buy the first house for his family, he wore the same suit of clothes, everything, for 5 years in a row. Let that sink in every single day. He said the people on the bus would look at him like he's got that suit on again. Every single day for 5 years, man. What do you got that type of focus? Do you got that type of commitment? That's what it takes, man. We don't have it. If you exhibit that type of focus and that type of commitment and dedication, that's laser focus, man. Man, the universe will step out of the way and give you whatever it is that you asking for. But the minute one obstacle comes in our way, we're ready to quit. Because people always ask me, what's the key to your success? I didn't quit, man. I kept going. I'm the last person that should have succeeded in the insurance business, man. I had no sales experience. I had no professional clothing, no wardrobe at all. I didn't even have any hard shoes. I didn't even know how to tie a tie. But guess what? I didn't even have a car. when I started in the insurance business. All I started with what I had, man. And it ended up being enough, man. I was determined. I had to succeed. I didn't have any other choice. I had to succeed, man. There was no turning back. He said, Cal, did you hear that the mayor of Atlanta, free water and rent in essence? Wow. He's saying that no one will be evicted or water be cut off during the months of November to January. I think it's a big setup. Well, we need more compassion, man. We need to start helping each other more in America. We're just a bunch of individuals. We've got that money over there to do that stuff. They make everything political. They got the money for the SNAP benefits, man. Take it out of that reserve money. That's what you pay those taxes for. But they got them thinking all these people are lazy. They'll rather stand around and watch somebody starve to death than do the right thing just to feed their base. People are ignorant over there. He said, my older sister saw them live in 64. Well, a lot of them, see, Little Richard, he's actually in that book. And he was saying, see, one of the reasons they stopped touring, because it was so loud, the screaming and everything, they couldn't hear themselves playing. So they didn't know if their performance was improving, that they were getting any better. They didn't know. Because that's what Little Richard said. He said they wasn't good musicians. When he was around, he said they praised him. They looked up to him like he was a god. But he said, they wasn't the best musicians. Of course, they got better, but that's one of the reasons they stopped touring. They couldn't hear themselves singing or playing their instruments, man. How crazy is that? Yeah, dedication. We don't have that. If you had that, there's no way you wouldn't succeed. That's the only way you're going to succeed anyway. You got to want something so bad that you don't see the obstacles, man. Who said that? George Foreman? He said the perfect book for the time we are living in is James Baldwin, Notes of a Native Son. I'm going to that Fully book, the guy. I'm going to take his suggestion. When all of this weather dies down and stuff. Hey, thank you, man. I think we all are in our own way. If you ask somebody what's the definition of success, everybody's going to have their own definition, but the definition of failure we all can agree on. You fail to reach your goal, whatever it is. He says, have you read The Creature from Jekyll Island, Brother Cal? I haven't. See, I'm going to tell you something. Is that a true story? If it's not real, I can't read it. I can't suspend my intelligence unless it's a really, really good book. Like Private Dancer. Shout out to Mike from Canada who gave me that book. Because I was getting ready he said, I got a book for you. I know you like to read her, Private Dancer. And, I wasn't enthused, man. That was one of the best books I've read in a long time. And it was fiction. But if it's a fiction book, man, it's got to just really hold my attention. It's hard for me to suspend my intelligence, man, because I'm one of them stupid guys. That's why I like to read about famous people. I like their stories. I want to know the back story. Because all we get is the front story. The only time you see them is when they become successful. Otherwise, we don't care about them. We don't want to hear about them. They're not on the front pages. America only recognizes you when you become famous, when you arrive. And then they work backwards. Then they go through your life and how you got up to that point. I like to know the backstory. Henry Ford and all the stories, man, stuff is interesting, man. This man had no formal education, No money, no influential friends. They asked him, why don't you move out of Dearborn, Michigan? He said, well, I'll just make Dearborn, Michigan out of a place for people to visit. I'll make this a place, a tourist place. That's what he did, man. He just wouldn't stop, man. I love reading about people like that. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll read it then. Yeah, yeah. That's why I say all of us really have a success story in our own right, man. If you still living, man, a lot of stuff that people go through in this life. He said, I continue to tell you guys, women are not the major attraction in the Philippines. Also, why would I travel 8,000 miles to live in a man-made BGC or Makati? This is not the real infrastructure. Nature is. Yeah, I mean, but you're just not gonna. We're not thinking rationally though. Digital aqua nomad. A lot of the men who end up over here, lust affects your uh, judgment and everything. So does chronic loneliness, and a lot of people suffering from that. It takes years to get rid of that, and then they'll start looking around and be like, "Man, this place is nice. I like the freedom here. It's so quiet here. Nobody bothers me here." All that stuff comes later. Our focus is strictly women. I really never saw anything like it before in my life. Hey, Bijan Bain, said, greetings from Hua Hin. For about 8 years, all I read was biographies and memoirs. Yeah, that's how I really love that stuff because it motivates me. It inspires me when you read those stories and you say, "Oh man, I didn't know that." Famous Amos, remember the chocolate chip cookie guy and all that. You read about these people, you get the backstory. You get facts and stuff that you never get in the mainstream media. He said, I'm heading to the gym. He said, thanks for the motivation. I'm headed to the gym. I want my help. I want it more than anything else. And you're going to get it then. This is really what you should be focused on. That's why I had a members only live stream. Is your health good enough to come to the Philippines? Is your health good enough to make that 20-hour flight and deal with the heat over here? We're not talking about do you have cancer and all that. We're just saying, are you in good enough shape to deal with the day-to-day living over here in the Philippines? We never even consider that. All we're worried about is a partner or a wife. It's the strangest thing. I didn't know all of this was here, man. When I started my channel, I didn't know that, man. I really wasn't. My focus wasn't there. I had no idea all that was going on over here. It's been going on over here for a long, long time. I knew nothing about the Philippines. Okay? I knew nothing about the Philippines. Only what guys was telling me on the boat. But they were really talking about Subic Bay and Angeles City and places like that. And I said I didn't want that. So I found Cebu. But man, it's crazy over here when it comes to that, man. Okay, it's just like this. This is why this stuff happens. He says, man, I watched that video of that foreigner opening doors at a 7-Eleven. How can a millionaire be such an idiot to give his money away without any protection? I question if he was really a millionaire. I don't, though. I've seen enough to believe these stories now. You got to believe them. If you don't believe them, it's going to happen to you. It's true, man. It's true. You just can't wrap your mind around it. Excuse me. He said as you get older, the flights get longer. They damn sure do. They damn sure do. When I came over here in 2018, man, it was the longest 15 hours from uh, Chicago to Hong Kong, man. I watched, that's how I fly now, even today. I fly from hour to hour. That's how I fly. I can't do it any other way. I can't go to sleep. I can't even watch movies for real. I just go from hour to hour. I say, okay, that's 1 hour down and 2 hours down. It's excruciating. It's hard for me to get distracted up there enough to look up in 4 or 5 hours and went by. Now I'll play solitaire this time. Coming back to the Philippines, I played solitaire and what else? In these old fake casino games. I couldn't watch movies, man. I couldn't get interested enough. And it seemed like every movie I'd already saw. But this is true right here. But yeah, you better believe he was a millionaire. You better believe it. I've only been on YouTube for 5 years. I've met men from all over the world. I see the money that we spend over here. It's like a spigot we turn on and just keeps running, man. I've seen, man, the money people spend over here. And they're gonna say, well, I'm gonna spend it anyway. And it's all usually a woman. My father told me that, man, I had to have been in I want to say the 10th or 11th grade. He said, when you see these men out here crazy, he said, 9 times out of 10, it's a woman behind it. He said the other one is drugs. My father told me that when I was in the 10th or 11th grade. When you see men out here, they lost their mind, they broke, they homeless out here, it's a woman behind it. No, ain't no clickbait, man. You ain't been over here long enough. You ain't seen enough, man. These guys is giving. I had a guy, man. It's true. He gave a woman. He never even met the woman. He sent her 400,000 US dollars. He sent her 20 million pesos through MoneyGram, and I didn't believe him. I said, "Man, you lying. I don't even want to hear it, man." I didn't even return. I said, "Look, unless you show me some proof, don't message me no more with that stuff, man. I don't believe you. There's no way." I said, "Where'd you get the money from?" Next thing you know, he's sending me receipt after receipt after receipt. 600, 800, 400, 300, 295, 422. Every single day for 2 years, he sent this woman money. He lived in Las Vegas. Don't tell me. Yeah, they do that, but I don't know why. I'm sorry. He said, "Don't look at the plane on the back of the seat." Oh, okay. No, I don't do that either. But yeah, Q, he sent 400,000 US dollars. He never answered my question. Cause see, I wanted to bring him on. I wanted to bring him on and interview him, and he agreed. And then he must have thought about it. These guys they're gonna eat me for lunch if I go on there. So he never did. He's probably watching me now. But it was true. He sent me receipt after receipt after receipt that he was doing online. Now, some of them he was going physically. He didn't show me those, but he sent that woman so much money, man. He said, "Yep, my first trip to Hong Kong was a lot easier when I was 36 than my flights last week. That being said, the seats are more comfortable now to reduce aircraft weight." Yeah, I've never had any problems, honestly, with flying economy. I've never had any problem. People's like, "Oh, they don't. I don't like economy, and I can't fly all that way in 15 hours or whatever it is." I've never had a problem flying. Um, Never had a problem. He said, I'm used to standing and sitting for 8 hours straight, sometimes 16. So those long flights isn't so bad to me. It certainly won't be bad the first time you come. Your adrenaline's going to be flowing. You're going to be so happy. The next thing you know, you're going to be there. I mean, it was like being in a whole other world. I'd never been on this side of the world before. And, you know, that long flight from, my first flight was Korean Air, so it was Chicago to South Korea. It was like being in a whole different world. It was like being on another planet, man. And then, you know, that's when I knew the difference between Asian people. I used to couldn't. I'm just because I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm not around a lot of Asian people, so I could never tell them apart. I couldn't tell a Japanese from a South Korean, from a Chinese, from a Filipino. But I get to South Korea, and you know, they're just real bland. Most of the workers at the airport, there's no real personality, you know. So then when I got to my gate going to the Philippines, all those OFWs is down there. I knew right away. I said, oh, okay, so this is what Filipinos look like. They act totally different, full of personality, laughing, you know, the whole 9 yards. And from that day into this day, I can tell them apart. But I couldn't tell them apart before. He said, that's crazy. I don't know either. I can't answer that question. That's a $64,000 question, but I'm telling you that they do it. That man did. I could see him spending 36 million pesos over here. Okay? Because over a period of time, look at the guy who built Q. Go on YouTube right now. There's a man who's built a 200 million peso house right outside Dumaguete. What would make you do that? Now he's changed his mind. He don't want to live here. He's going to raise his daughters in America. He's trying to sell the thing. 220 million he wants for it. You know, I'm like, what is happening to people's mind? What happens to us when we come over here? This guy's a millionaire, obviously, because the house, that's about 4 million, almost 4 million that he spent to build the house. I mean, it's a palace, and the grounds and everything is just something otherworldly. But why would you do it over here? You could have spent 500,000 and built just a McMansion. He spent 200 million. So that 36 million is nothing. What are you talking about? You don't believe he did it. You better start believing it. Are you going to end up doing it? That's crazy. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, business class. I flew business class a couple of times. Okay. And I was only because I was on Delta. I was a silver medallion. I was in the frequent flyer, but I keep forgetting to sign up for these frequent flyers. That was the best thing I ever did. And 2 times on my way back from Manila, I was bumped up to business class. It's like night and day. It's a whole different flight. It's a whole different flight. I could do a trip to the Philippines and back like it nothing if I was flying business class. He said, yeah, that's an unbelievable amount of money, but we do it all the time. It was here recently where the brother, it was a black guy because in the paper they just covered his eyes. You could see the rest of his skin. He sent the woman his life savings to start a new life for them over here. So when he gets to the airport in Cebu, she ghosted him because, you know, it was a scam. He must have fainted or something. Whatever it was, he ended up in the hospital. And then the mayor of Lapu-Lapu helped him get back home, you know, expeditiously. He helped him get back home. This man sent all his money, sending it to this woman to build a life for them, when he got over here. And he landed in Cebu, Lapu Lapu. The woman wasn't there. He panicked, man. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have no money. Well, it wasn't that she ran off. He never came over here. He never met her. He never met her. Because I'm asking him, I'm like, dude, why are you sending all that money? Because he's trying to help them move out of the squatters area. I said, well, hell, you could have gave her $5,000 to move out of the squatters area. But if you don't know, you don't know. We're thinking like we're in America. Maybe in Vegas you need 400,000, but not over here. You don't. And then I said, well, let me see the picture of the woman. She got to be a 15. Man, this one was Porky Pig with a perm. I couldn't believe it, man. Had a double chin, and she's trying to use filter and everything. This looked like a big Shirley over here. And I'm like, you sent all that money over here for that? And the dress looked like a big sheet, like she had a big sheet on. I'm like, you guys are crazy. It is temporary insanity. I don't know what is going on. I don't know. 200 million for that house? Crazy, man. 200 million in the Philippines, man. You gotta be crazy. He's an educated fool. That's what he is, because he ain't no dummy. He's rich now. He's a millionaire, but hey, our Rebecca Gunlugu, thanks for that super sticker. And that's what my father told me too. He said, that's the first time I ever heard of an educated fool. He was telling me. He said, yeah, just because people got book sense. Now, she wasn't all that. She wasn't all that. Not for 400,000. Man, if I send 400,000 over to a woman, she's going to be a 25 piece. First of all, I'm not going to do it. But if I am, she's going to be Miss Universe on steroids. Okay? No, it wasn't no 3. She was a 2 on her best day. But when Jim and Jim's Asian Adventure, he mentioned on one of his videos that he had spent 400,000, and people doubted that, and I was like, I don't doubt that. I believe him. I believe him. He did it in a little bit over 6 years. He says, my Filipina wife has saved my life, but the mother-in-law is a trip. Well, I've been blessed, man. I've got a great mother-in-law here. I get along with Marilyn's mother probably because she's no nicer than the other ones, but I know her better than I know any of the others. She has a little bit more personality, a lot more personality than the others. But he said, I promise I'll change this name. Hard to read, I know. How do you pronounce that? Ara Backler? Gunlugi? Gunlugu? But she wasn't all that. Yeah. But this guy, it just proves you that people with money, they aren't smarter than the regular man. You never know how people got their money. Maybe he came up with some type of idea. Maybe he was a geek. But, the guy, I'm just saying, what would make you spend $200 million on a house over here and then change your mind? There's nothing wrong with that. It's your money, but then you change your mind and say, okay, I'm going back to America. I'm trying to sell the house. Who are you going to sell it to? President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.? Who's got that kind of money over here? I mean, they do, but they're going to pay that for that. he took a loss. But this is temporary insanity. And you can push back all you want and say, oh, it's his money. He can do whatever he want to do. Well, okay. I tip my hat if he sold it. Maybe he decided not to sell it. I know, I doubt if one of these YouTubers or anybody in our audience is going to buy it. I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But Q said he didn't believe the guy spent 36 million. Shit, that guy spent 220. That's just to build the house. That's not the living expenses and maintaining the damn thing. Did you see how big? Go on to YouTube and watch that. See how big that house is. Because he said whoever sells it, he's going to leave the staff there. You got a full staff that he's got working there. The grounds alone, you need a whole staff to maintain. He said someone with that kind of wealth usually is careful with their money, so this is totally against the grain. Well, you know that he's not all the way crazy, right? Because of the way, if you see the house and how it was built and he designed it, it has the best of everything. The top-notch materials and everything. But you got to understand, why would you do that over here? That's like $4 million US. It's less than that now because, the dollar's so high. But at that time, the dollar was about 50 or 49 or something like that. I think when they were doing, on one of the videos, I think it's $3.8 or $3.9 million. When it comes to the land and the house. And he said the other cars the cars are included, the furniture is included, everything's included. And I'm like, I mean, that's fine, but who's got that kind of money? Yeah. See, when you look at it like this is when you're thinking like, this is crazy. He said over a third of $1 billion pesos on a house. Now it's about a fourth, 1/4 of $1 billion. And they aren't Filipino. What did it come with? An airport and its own. It may go on its own there. Just put 220 million house in Dumaguete. And the video is going to come up. And you'll see for yourself. And he said, changes your mind. Yeah, he changed his mind. This is what I'm trying to tell you. We're not operating on all 12 cylinders, man. I think this is real talk right here. I think before men come over here, this is hindsight being 2020. We need a mental evaluation before we come over here. We need a psychological evaluation before you get on that plane to come to the Philippines. Okay? I'm just telling you, that's real talk. But we sneak over here. We don't even tell anybody we coming. That's why a lot of people don't want to be interviewed. I thought this one guy surely was going to let me interview him. He said he didn't want his family to know he was over here. I was like, boy, that's crazy right there. But yeah, we need a mental evaluation, man. We need to go see a psychologist, a psychiatrist before you get over here. You need to make sure that you are mentally sane to come over here because the Philippines is not for the weak. Okay? A. Patterson said that, and he hit that on the money. And a lot of guys, of course, are going to say, I don't need a mental health evaluation. Well, that probably, who's going to admit to say that? That's the problem. You're in denial. You think you're okay, but everybody else around you, this dude lost his damn mind. They see it long before you see it. Yeah. Okay. Crazy. And then turn around and change your mind. And want to sell it? My God. Yeah, watch it. You're going to be shocked. Thomas probably watched it. He said, "What's going on? It's coming. It's headed this way. It's gonna hit us. Look how quiet it is, man. It's gonna hit us sometime early Tuesday morning." He said, "Special made fans." He's got all kind of stuff in his house, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I've watched this video over 3 times because I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it. You know, and I see the guy. I think he's some type of engineer or something. He's got money, but whatever got into his mind to make him build that house. Yeah, and then you probably got a squatters area right next to the damn property. That's the problem right there. That's what happens here. You can spend $1 million on a house and then somebody come and build a squatter house right next to you. You see, I've got squatter houses over here. But over here it don't matter though. It won't affect your property. But if you try to do that in America, they'll kill you. He's not really that old though. He's not really that old. I think he's about the same age as me. I might be older than him. He said, "Better come with the lottery." He said, how do you work out with your lady peoples? Maryland, she goes to the gym more than me. Maryland's really like an instructor over there. Them young girls can't deal with Maryland, so they work out with her. He said, "I remember that Good Times episode when Thelma was dating Lou Gossett and James wasn't having it. That's the black view of age gap dating." Oh, okay, you talking about that with Maryland's family. Oh, they don't care, man. Me and Maryland, we look good together, really. Yeah, we look good together. We don't get many stares. We just don't. Because, I'm 62, she's 43. But if you see, it's diabolical, the video she showed me today. This guy's hideous. I mean, he's really hideous. And the girl is saying it in the video. Like, look at him. She's telling you to look at him, but she don't care. She said, "I don't care because he's buying me everything I want." I mean, this guy is just, but that's the allure of the Philippines. That's the appeal. That's why men like it over here. They know that, I can get me a girlfriend over there if I can't get nothing else. I'm going to get a girl. But I'm going to stop talking about it because it makes, they don't want to look at the truth. It's right there on the surface, man. Come on. But they don't want to be reminded about it. They want you to think they've done something special and that they're special and that they're different. Their situation is different. She really loves him. And then the crazy thing about it, he had some rice on his face from eating, He took the piece of rice and ate it. He says, I was getting the 400,000 and 200 million peso figures mixed up in my head. No, it's two different situations. Q brought it to my mind because he said he didn't believe that the guy spent 36 million over here. And I'm like, are you crazy? Guys, it's going nuts over here with that money. Yeah, this is, okay, you said it. But people think I don't know what I'm talking about. They get lucky. I told Marilyn that. I said she probably had no idea, just like they don't have no idea how much money you got. I got millionaire friends over here the same way. The woman had no idea they had that kind of money before they start fooling with them. And then next thing you know, he may be worth 10 million or whatever it is. He said, imagine how lucky his wife was. They all get lucky. We don't get lucky. We get unlucky if we rush and pick the wrong woman. Because most of the women that we meet over here, they're good women, man. Okay, it doesn't matter what their intentions are being with you. They're still good. But you can mess up by being fast. by being too fast and making an irrational decision. But the women, they don't know what they're going to get. They picking from Americans, French, British, Australian, Canadian, Indian, Japanese, Chinese, you name it. They don't know what they're getting, man. Hey, welcome to the chat. I'm just on here, man, because there's a typhoon coming our way. Really to really relieve my stress. I'm stressed out, man. I'm suffering from PTSD behind that Odette. I never healed from that. I mean, I never went to therapy or anything about it. I thought I was going to die. I mean, that was a super typhoon, second only to Typhoon Yolanda. It's the second largest typhoon on record. It roared through Cebu and the Visayas region. Well, how many people died? I think, 200 or something altogether? Maybe more. It looked like somebody dropped an atomic bomb, man. And now, because I'm thinking of the aftermath. I'm not even thinking about sitting up there in I'm on the 46th floor, the condo shaking. It has to shake. That's part of the construction, the design. If it didn't shake, we'd have been in trouble. It's shaking, though. It's loud, man, and, it just won't stop. I'm like, normally when it's raining real hard, after about 10 or 15 minutes, it stopped. Now, this just kept going. It never stopped. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I just got so tired that I laid down and went to sleep, and when I woke up, it was over. This is what I'm thinking, because I really don't remember. I was out of it, man. And now here this thing coming, and people really are saying, yeah, it's going to hit you. It's going to hit us. Did you get this? Did you get that? And people are freaking out in the street. It's not like it was in 2021. People didn't believe it. They didn't think it was coming. They thought, they always say that. Just like when, what was that, Hurricane Katrina. Remember? They said, I'm staying, I'm going to just ride it out, they said. This was one of those where it hit Cebu so bad. You can ask some guys probably watching now. I saw people at Ayala Mall. We made plans, okay? There's a group of guys who meet at Ayala. And they were going either bowling that next day or to the movies, because every once or twice a month they do something in Cebu. And they invited me. So I said, okay, I'll go. Shit. Crazy. He said, thanks for doing this live stream, Unc. This made my day. Hey, man, you're welcome. I'm just really, man, I'm really nervous, man. I hope they're wrong about this one. Yeah, I really hope they're wrong about this one, man. He said, stay safe, my fellow Fern Creek student. And I'm going to the Louisville basketball game tonight, man. Oh, man. How old are you? I went to Fern Creek when Wally Orler was the football coach. He wanted me to play football. I should have. I ended up going to Central playing football, and that's a basketball school. I mean, really, because he was my gym teacher. And he was like, man, I want you to, be a running back here at Fern Creek. And Fern Creek had a good football team then. But really, my heart wasn't into football, even though I was good in it. I just wasn't, my heart wasn't in it, And then when I got to Central, man, the guy hit me so hard. We had an all-state linebacker. And see, my coach, Coach Lovely, believe it or not, I'm 62. This guy was my gym teacher and football coach he was my gym teacher at 14, my football coach at 16. He's still teaching in the Jefferson County public school system. He taught my daughter. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Lovely, when are you going to retire, man? His job is so easy. So if I'm 62, he's got to be damn near 80. But anyway, he was sadistic. He set up two blocking dummies. So it's 3 holes. You got to run in one of them. You got the ball, and then the defensive guy was over here. He got a clear shot at you. Man, he hit me so hard, man. He knocked me into the future. Not back to the future. He knocked me into the future. I promise you, that was everybody was like, I probably suffered a concussion now that I think about it, because I just remember taking out my equipment and never coming back. And when I got to the locker room, I just took out my equipment and I never came back to football practice or nothing. I just left the equipment is probably still sitting there. If anybody wants to go check. I mean, that's when I was done with football. I was like, nah, hell no. Did y'all see the Jaden Daniels, the injury? But something like this happened in every game, really. But he hit me so hard, I was like, I'm done, man. I am done. He said, if a father has to call you cool, you're living a crazy life. But they don't really care. Oh yeah, they've been corrupt. Hell, what police department isn't corrupt? Hell, you got your nerve, man. Baltimore's is corrupt. The FBI had to step in and take over. No, Fleece is older than me. No, Fleece Johnson, he's older than me, man. Way older than me. Come on, man. Fleece Johnson we ain't the same age. Yeah, he said condo shaking, man. It's crazy, yeah. But now Fleece Johnson, he was crazy, man. Okay, so we're the same age. Did you go there when Wally Orler was the football coach? Because he used to be the quarterback at U of L. I mean, he was no joke. He knew talent, but I didn't want, I wanted to play basketball. Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be here sometime, during the night. I'm glad the kids are asleep. And that's what I want to do. That's what I was telling Marilyn. I hope it comes. Let us get a good night's sleep. Yeah, he hit me, Juice. That football equipment's still there. Yeah, I was done. They didn't realize it because I was in a, has anybody ever suffered a concussion before? I've had a couple. I fell into, you have to, when you go swimming in public swimming pools, you used to have to go through the shower room first and take a shower. I'm walking out and I slipped, man. I hit the back of my head. And I don't remember anything the rest of that day. But when he hit me, I was, I don't know if I suffered a concussion, but I knew I was done with football. I was done. I just remember, I can see my football equipment sitting on that bench right now. Because, this is back in 1980. They still had the wooden benches with the metal legs. The long benches, everybody sit there and listen to the coach. It ain't the fancy stuff y'all got today. And I can see it now. The pants on the ground and the shoulder pads with the shirt still in it, sitting there with the helmet on top. I was done. Yeah, I'm telling you, Q needs to get out of that um, province, man. He said, I've seen stars from getting hit before, but no concussion. Yeah, I didn't want to play football, man. Really, my heart wasn't in it. That was, a woman that I didn't have any skins in the game with, 10,000 pesos, but that was a lot of money back in 2009. That's a lot of money back in 2009. That would probably be 20,000 today or something. I mean, that's crazy, man, when you think about. But to me, that's when I was at my height in my insurance business. In 2009 and 2010, I earned over 200,000. So it wasn't in my mind. It was nothing. The woman was going crazy. Like I gave her 10,000. Man, you imagine what minimum wage must have been back then? That was probably 2 or 3 months' salary I sent her. No, no, it's just that I think she wanted a phone or something. I can't remember. It's been so long ago, but it was something like that. A phone, because I was supposed to have been going there, but I never did. She actually lived in the Pollock. Now I hear I'm seeing all kinds of people in the Pollock now. But yeah, 10,000. He said I played running back and I quit. My coach paid me back with a big fat F in gym. Yeah, see, back in our day, man, the equipment wasn't even a tenth as good as it is now. That's why it's a lot of crazy people walking around now who was playing football in my day. The equipment was shot. The helmets didn't have half the helmets didn't have no padding inside them. Everybody wore these big ass shoulder pads. And I'm in Central High, so the equipment was cheap, man. It's I'm fortunate I didn't have brain damage. Yeah, yeah. See, my father was way before his time. We lived in a place called Bracktown, Kentucky. It was right outside of Lexington. It was like the suburbs. My mother and father, when they were together, we were middle class back in the 60s, man, early 60s. And my three brothers, they were the only three black players in the whole little league, uh, over there. And they were good. He had them playing baseball way back then. And they loved baseball. But then my mother and father split when we moved to Louisville and we got into basketball and football. Yeah, the equipment's much better now. What's up, Blizzard Abroad? Yeah, the equipment's so much better now. I mean, really, all I remember is just having the ear pads. And I think one strip of some padding up in the top of the helmet and then around your ear. That was it. And, the helmets was all big. And, I just remembered moving around on my head. But it didn't matter. I didn't play that long anyway. I didn't play long enough to sweat in the damn helmet. He was a good, he was a very good a college player, but he just stayed hurt. He was too small. Yeah, he was just too frail. I mean, he couldn't stay healthy. I remember Sam Bowie came to uh Kentucky as a freshman. He was, man, I remember all that stuff. I was a big basketball fan. I remember I come from Kentucky. Yeah, yeah, them big pads, man, and none of the stuff was good, man. You see nowadays, if you watch pro football, because where's their thigh pads? Where's the butt pads and hip pads and all that? We was bulky walking around. These guys are slim and streamlined now. You be like, I know they got pads on right there. You ain't gonna let no helmet hit you in the thigh like that. But the equipment is just so much better. I know they don't have knee pads because we used to have to stuff the knee pads in there. It was a job just putting the pads in your pants. Then you put your pants on. You know. But this is for y'all day, man. Y'all have all that fancy stuff now. But yeah, that guy hit me. He ended my football career right then and there. But man, I'm gonna be honest. I came on here, man, to kind of relieve my nerves, man. Because I hope we don't get it, man. I don't want to go through another typhoon, man. But living in the Philippines, man, it's really inevitable. Eventually, you're going to get hit with something, man. You're going to see something or be hit with something that you're just not used to in the West, man, you know. And like I said, I had a good run where nothing happened over here. But now all of a sudden, it seems like every time I turn around, it's something. And it's wearing on me, man. It really is, man. It's like, I don't know how people do it, man. They're tough over here. I mean, they don't have another choice, but man, they get up, dust themselves off, and get ready for the next one. I'd be terrified. Like, you know, I'm having a damn live stream right now. It's quiet as hell now. It's coming, man. It's gonna hit us. It's just the aftermath uh that that I'm worried about, really. Being without no electricity, you know, because I was okay in Cebu with no electricity, because, you know, I was like, okay, as long as I got that water, I can cook, I can use the bathroom, I can take a shower. Man, they cut that water off in that condo unit. That's when I panicked, man. And old Jeffrey Tatter looked out for me, man. I got out of there. But it weighs on you, man, and you guys, man, you don't even consider it. You don't even contemplate it. You know, you coming over chasing some woman, man. You don't even ask her about the weather where she lives. And when's the last time she been through a typhoon, or earthquake, or landslide, or something? Mudslide. I was here in 2011, man. Like about 3,500 people died in flooding and landslide, because what's happening is it's a lot of illegal logging that goes on in the Philippines, even to this day. I won't even talk about that. That'll get you killed. But anyway, and that's what was happening. So when the rains came, see that we need those forests up there, man, to, you know, all this stuff is connected. And it helps, you know, with the flooding and everything. But when that area where they were doing a lot of illegal logging, cutting down all them trees, man. And there was no, there was nothing, there was no safeguards there to stop it. So, man, it killed a lot of people. But it was like, they ran out of caskets. Bodies were stacked on the street, man. And don't you know what they did? They just built more caskets, buried the people, and went on about their business, man. You wouldn't even know it. If you're in Cagayan de Oro, ask them about it. You know somebody in Cagayan de Oro. And say, hey, what happened in 2011, that flood and landslide over here? They'll tell you. It was in Iligan, right up the street, and in Cagayan de Oro, all that little area around there. I had got there maybe 2 or 3 days after it happened. Yeah, they ran out of caskets. Well, you know, I'm all in over here now. I mean, it's just that, like I said, I've had a long run. He said, Cal, so what are your future plans now about the Philippines? Still thinking it through. You know, I'm dug in now. But I'm just saying, you know, a man can only take so much. You know, I'm taking it one, you know, natural disaster at a time. Shit. But I just like to share this stuff, man, because I know y'all not thinking about it. You're not even thinking about it. Yeah, it's a big problem. Okay, so we setting up shop over here in Cebu. Rain and wind, and the storm is coming. Yeah, it's blowing hard. Yeah, it's so quiet here now. Listen how quiet it is. That's how you know it's coming. When that guy called me today, and this guy knows his stuff, man, he wouldn't have called me. He was checking on me. He said, Cal, did you make sure you did this and that? And he, you know, brought me back to reality. It's like, yeah, it's a typhoon coming, dude. It's coming. And I'm like, oh man. And I don't know. It just kind of messed me up, man. He said, crazy, it was calm yesterday. Now it's amping up. Yeah, that's usually what it does. It's on you, man, before you know it. That's what it does. It just sweeps in. The next thing you know, you're in the middle of it. I'll never forget that night, man. He said, hey, Cal, what's going on? He said, did you look at any videos of Jamaica? I did. I was looking at one before I went online. He said, certain places there are no homes, trees, and the hospitals. My village got damaged, but I complained because some people are worse off than you. See, a lot of times, we write this stuff through and we deal with it because it's always the other guy. It's always the Typhoon's on the other island. You have sympathy for him and compassion and everything, but you like, oh, I'm just glad it wasn't me. Really, in your mind, that's what happens when people die. You sad and everything, but somewhere in your mind, you was like, oh, I'm just glad it wasn't me. I'm glad I'm still alive. And that's what happens over here, man. You really, man, I really am thankful every time I open up my eyes. But if you've never been through a natural disaster, man, you just don't know. You can't relate. And people over here, they've been through several. Hell, it wasn't even, I don't know how many weeks ago. It wasn't that many weeks ago. It just had my house damn near shook to the ground. I haven't even recovered from that. He said, there's no rebar in the cement here on my island. The flood controls get washed away. These guys should be in jail. What island are you on? Because I got rebar, man. Yeah, I got rebar, man. Yeah, he said, yeah, they thinking about the pushy. They are. That's all they thinking about. It's crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it. I did not know all this was over here. I didn't know people were going crazy the way they do over here. I had no idea. It's worse than I thought. When I made that video, I'm telling you the truth. It's worse. It's much worse than I thought because imagine how long Rafi Tufo's been on before I ever started watching him. I really don't watch him. Somebody will bring a video to my attention and then I'll go on there. And imagine all the cases on there, millions and millions of pesos, and just, people losing their mind. And remember, there's two things that they're terrible with. But this is what we trust them with our money with, starting a business and trying to manage our money. It's not going to work, man. But we never even think about if you be honest, man. A lot of people watching these videos now, they know nothing about the Pacific Ring of Fire. They know nothing about that fault line that's lying underneath Manila that hasn't moved for 500 years. It could happen any day now. That thing could shift, and they're predicting it that it's going to shift. And it's going to be the mother of earthquakes. It's going to hurt a lot of people, but they're not worried about that. All they're worried about is, what's the best place to meet a Filipino? Some guy asked me today, what's the best island to meet a woman? Any of them. I do. I grandfathered in, but the next time I see Michael Onstead, I'm going to get one from him because I really don't have enough. I've been holding on to this because it's so cheap and it's better than nothing. But I'm just going to get me, this is universal health care. One thing about the Philippines, they have universal health care. But I don't know, if you got the SRV, you can get it. A 13A, you can get it. But I got it a long time ago, and I just kept it. Maryland's is 36. I paid for her and the kids. It's 3,600 pesos for the whole year. Yeah, but have that in the back of your mind. Certainly, where you going when when you coming over, even on vacation, even on vacation. Because see, people are so predictable. You know, uh, I was talking. I put a video out today on my members only, and I was talking about how the the audience of YouTube vloggers, we've gotten spoiled with all the videos out there uh, and everything. We've gotten spoiled, but they're so predictable. See, a lot of people aren't real content creators. They just, uh, use what's going on now for their content. So I wasn't surprised that you see a lot of people making videos about the typhoon. Well, you should be talking about it before it happens. It's the same way with helping people. I started helping people when my channel started, before it even reached the point it is where, I could really afford to help people. I don't help people after a natural disaster and all. I just help them throughout the whole year. But I wasn't surprised. It's going to be more in the morning about the typhoons, when you should be talking about it more before it happens, to get people to thinking about it. And the earthquakes and stuff like that. Like today it was an earthquake in Dumagetti 5.3. It didn't do any damage. But I'm saying you should already be warning people about that stuff. Because I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing about. Uh, now I do it every week. That's why I just say it. I do it all year. I don't wait for a natural disaster. The help over here is too much for any individual. It's too much. The need is too great. I just do what I can. People ask me all the time. I say, look, man, send it to the Red Cross. The need is too great over here, man. You crazy? There's no way I could. So I do the spin wheel. You don't think it helps? It helps people because it's always something going on over here, Q. The need is really, really great over here. Like I told you, there is no food stamps. So when I give that 1,000 pesos away, or however many thousands I give away on Saturday night or Friday night, that's like giving somebody food stamps or something. That's giving somebody life, man, and hope. I do it all year, though. I've been doing it for a long, long time. I don't wait for a natural disaster. It's too late then. Now you're talking about thousands of people affected. There's no way. But yeah, I'm still doing the spin wheel. I never stopped. I only stopped when I went to America, because the spin wheel's on Marilyn's phone. But now that she got a new phone, I got the spin wheel with me at all times. Yeah, I've been doing that. I'm never going to stop that as long as I got my channel. But Balik buying boxes are from America to here. England to here, France to here. You do know what balikbayan means. That's a returning Filipino. That's what a balikbayan is. That's why you get the balikbayan visa when you come to the Philippines with your spouse or your child or your mother and father or somebody like that. Balikbayan is just a returning Filipino from abroad. That's what that means. Yeah. The need is too great, man. You can't wait. Because somebody's gonna get left out. And that brings a lot of jealousy, envy. People get angry with you. You know, that's why I was telling the guy he wants to come here. He wants me to go with him to Manila, and he's going to go to that Tondo area and feed so many people. I said, man, you got to think that all the way through. You just can't go to Tondo with 100 jolly spaghetti meals because that 100 is going to be gone. And then the 101st person and the 102nd person, they're going to be angry at you. You got to talk to the barangay officials. Man, you really got to do some logistics and a lot of planning to do that. You can't just walk up in there and try to feed 100 or 200 people. It's thousands of people. You know what I'm thinking about doing, but I can't get anybody to really help me with this. You know about anybody know about the angel tree in America, where I don't know who sets it up, the Red Cross or somebody sets it up, where you go and you pick out the tree and you open it up and it's a family. It may be two kids, and then they'll have what they want for Christmas, and then you buy it and you give it to the kids, whoever you picked off the angel tree. I'd like to do something like that, but I don't know uh, how would go about doing that. Well, now I've been helping people. You better ask somebody about me. Ever since I got sober, man, 1998, I've been giving away college scholarships. I raffled off vans. I did all kinds of stuff, man. I've always helped people long before I got over here. I grew up in a family where my mother taught us to serve people and compassion. So yeah, you barking up the wrong tree, dude. You need to go on somewhere with that stuff. Y'all too smart for your own good. You better ask somebody about Calvin Roach. Okay? I'm just saying though, it's still, I don't care who you're talking about. No, this guy's a good guy. He's a religious guy though. But you have to understand, it's different here than in America. Really? If you've never seen the need over here, it might move you to do something now where at home you're not moved to take any action because you know they got food stamps and Section 8 and all that, unemployment, disability, and all the other stuff. COVID, you got pandemic checks and all that stuff. Okay, lockdown checks and all that stuff. That's not over here. And you know, the poverty unless you're dead, it's gonna affect you. Unless you're dead. A lot of you guys are dead when you come over here. If you see some of the stuff that goes on over here and it doesn't move you to even want to just buy a sack of rice or something, you're dead. They just haven't put the dirt over you. But that's what happens over here. People come over here and start helping and doing charitable works and stuff that they never did at home. They didn't see the need. They come over here, man, crazy. You'll see a whole family sleeping on the street. The good people. Okay? But it ain't because they stingy at home. It's not because they stingy at home. I'm pretty sure this guy who I'm talking about is helping at home. You know, he just felt it in his heart because I think he's been here before. But it'll move you to do something over here. He said, yeah, absolutely correct. There's a great need. And it moves some people. Some people it don't. You know, some people they just over here to get what they can. You know, they take us. They not give us. They need more givers over here. Are you talking about the shutdown? Right? But I think I know in but see, this is the problem. They need to come up with some money out of the reserve and go on and fund those programs, WIC and all of that. That helps a lot of people. He said, "Yeah, that's true. I seen a baby in the street begging, and I lost it." Well, you're gonna see more than that. You're just gonna see everyday good people uh, doing the best they can, and unless you some kind of just Scrooge or something, it's gonna touch you, man. They're not asking you for nothing. Those people didn't. When I started my channel. I started Sunshine Shows on Facebook first. I see a little boy during the lockdown. He's going door to door, a little 4-year-old boy asking for food in the squatter area. And I'm having one of them bad days, like, complaining, whining, oh, poor me, I can't go out, can't do this and can't do that. And when I saw that, it really moved me. And I was like, well, damn, at least, I was getting like $1,900 a month then, every month coming in. And I said, well, I'm going to sacrifice 1,000 pesos out of my savings every Friday to help Filipino families, who are affected by these lockdowns, because they had one of the strictest lockdowns in the whole world here. I mean, you couldn't leave. People wasn't working. I mean, it's bad. You think it's bad any other time? And I've been doing it ever since. Long before y'all even knew I wasn't even on YouTube. I was on Facebook. Well, yeah, you see some stuff over here, man. Then it makes you go home. Hey, what's up, Lonnie? You back over here yet? The very first time I came to the Philippines, and this is no lie, and I had such a great time, man. Tears welled up in my eyes when had to go back home. When I got home, man, I kissed the ground. You take stuff for granted. We're spoiled over in America, certainly. We just don't know how good we got it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And that's why I gave away so much money when I first came over here. And the woman was saying, it's against the law. You're not supposed to give money. This is what she was telling me. She said, give them food. You know what I'm saying? And so we did. But I've never come over here and didn't help somebody. But usually it is food. Or like when I go to